Okay, everyone, we are here week 2 of the On the Move Kids Cooking School, Eddy and Foster County. Today's lesson has to do with eating on the run. So let's just go ahead and we'll share our screen here. And let's take this from the beginning. Okay, so On the Move Kids Cooking School, here we are week 2. When we're thinking about our topic for today, we're going to be talking about eating on the run and how to do that most effectively, especially when we're cooking at home. So we've got some tips on how to do that for you today. We have a recipe this week that can be one of those recipes that you can use to, for busy families eating on the run. So it's important to do your prep work ahead of time. The bulk of your time can be used to maybe prepare ahead of time. You can chop ahead of time. You can grate some food ahead of time. You can slice your food ahead of time. And you can measure the food ahead of time, and making sure that you have all the ingredients ready before combining them can really help you on a very busy day, and it helps to save time. So we do know that some ingredients cannot be prepared ahead of time, at least if they're not going to be frozen. And these include dairy products that have fat in them, like sour cream, cream cheese that will separate. Garlic doesn't, garlic because it tastes much stronger after it has been frozen. And the other thing that it does is it can invade the other foods if it hasn't been cooked, stored properly. And even so with potatoes, they lose their texture and they can become kind of mealy, and we don't want that to happen as well. We do need to think about this. And so if we are menu planning, this allows you to know what ingredients you will need to be ready on those days. If you know when you will need to chop a whole onion, then you can chop it ahead of time or refrigerate it or freeze it. You don't need to take that extra time to do it later. You don't need to buy ingredients pre-chopped if you plan your meals and chop them yourself. And this can also save you money. And we'll talk about that. And again, doing things ahead of time saves you money. Planning ahead is a very thoughtful and rewarding thing to do when it helps to save money. If you have a television, you may choose to prepare meals while watching television. There is a danger in that, though. If we're not paying attention to what we are doing, we might hurt ourselves. So it's always good to be focused when you are in the kitchen. We can make meals ahead of time. We call these freezer meals. Freezer meals are an excellent way to prepare food ahead of time and store it for busier times. And sometimes the leftovers from these meals are even better than the first time than the meal was eaten. The flavors may meld together better. We can also, if your family doesn't like leftovers, slow cooker meals could be a good alternative to freezer meals. Although if done right, no one will know the difference between a fresh made or freezer meal in most cases. And again, some foods lend themselves better to freezer type meals as opposed to others. Both these options do require a lot of prep in the front end, but again, if done ahead of time, perhaps at the beginning of each week, the time will be available for later. Some meals are better the first time around, or may be too expensive or difficult to store in a freezer. Be sure that the meal that you are making has been tested as a freezer meal. If you're not sure, and again, it's horrible to waste ingredients. So if you're not sure that if that ingredient's going to work or that meal is going to work as a freezer meal, try freezing a small amount and then cooking it a month or so after a month or so has passed. If it still tastes good and it looks good, then you can go ahead and make it in a larger batch. And again, not every container is freezer safe. Here we see some pictures of things that work and some things that don't. We need to make sure that, with freezer meals, it's important to have airtight containers, whether that is freezer bags, the freezer hefty containers, or the freezer Ziploc. Those are a couple name brand. You can also buy the off brand, but as long as they say freezer on them, that means that those have been made for storing freezer foods. So be sure that you have the appropriate containers to make the meal safely. When you are cooking with meats, be sure that you check the temperature with a food thermometer before you eat it. Leftovers, including freezer meals, should be cooked to no less than at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. So it has to be cooked to that. And that's where that dial gauge food thermometer comes in real handy. You place the dimple into the food in the center, and then it needs to say in the center of the food 165 degrees. The handouts that you can look in your book this week, your course materials, of course. Let's look at the kitchen tidbits one. This is lesson 4 handout. This talks about some of the cooking terms. There's some information on fire. If a fire occurs, what do you need to do? So grease fires, we never put those out with water. That just escalates it. Baking soda, having a lid that you can slap down on something to deprive it of oxygen will help to put the fire out. And then in your handout as well, in your book, there is a fruit and vegetable word find that you should have fun with. The recipes that we are going to be making at home, and actually the video that we prepared for you this week, check out the No Time to Cook chili. This is the slow cooker variety. And again, a slow cooker, a lot of families might not have both a slow cooker and a pressure cooker. Electric pressure cooker like an Instapot, that's a brand name. A very common brand name. It's not the only one that's out there. However, on those pressure cookers, they will often have a slow cooker feature. So you would use that slow cook setting if you were using your Instapot, and it will do the same thing for you. So, but here is the recipe, and again, that you can do ahead of time, but the one that we prepared the video was the No Time to Cook chili, and we'll encourage you to go check out that video and prepare that item. This is the food item that we're preparing for our cooking school for lesson 4. Don't forget to give your parents the newsletter to tell them about what you learned today. And if you have any questions, you can email me at donna.anderson@ndsu.edu, and you can also phone me on my cell phone, which you have in your course materials. So that concludes this lesson for this week. And we will see you for week 5 in lessons 5 and 6.